So we are live. Let's make sure everything's working on LinkedIn, and then we will get started. Please show up. I believe in you, personally. Come on, LinkedIn. Come on. There is trust. Getting nervous. Usually pops up right here.
I don't know how LinkedIn Live works.
Yeah,
Bro.
we'll find out. All right. Come on. I believe in you. Let's see if it's working over here. It says we're online. It says we are good. Maybe it's been a little bit laggy lately, so give it a little bit. Okay. Ooh. It popped up. Popped up on Restream. The hope is still alive. I gotta get in touch with somebody at the LinkedIn Live, product team, because I'm really curious. And we're live. Good. Perfect. Yay. Yahoo! Okay, cool. So yeah, any questions that we have from the community or anybody viewing should pop up right here. And I can send you this link if you want. Boop. Copy link to post. I can send this in Zoom. More chat. Boop. Boom. Okay, cool. Yeah, so sent that to you there if you want it. And it's helpful. But yeah, cool. Other than that, we're live. Yay. Sorry, technical issues. Awesome. So we are here. I am Max. This is EntrepreNerd. Hoorah. And we are here with Michelle Kwok today. And I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. I'm usually bad with
No, that's
names.
that's correct.
Okay, cool, awesome. But yeah, here with Michelle Kwok today. I'm really excited. This is kind of just a very like spring of the moment. I didn't promote too much beforehand on this, but I've really wanted to interview. We've talked before, but I really wanted to interview on stuff that you've built because it personally relates to me a lot and like future potential projects that I have. But also like what you're building is just generally fucking cool. Yeah, I want to talk about it. And there's like you have a lot more experience. I talk a little bit on the show about like entrepreneurship disparity and an investment disparity. Like for instance, I don't talk too much about like venture capital and stuff like that. I don't really like that kind of sect of entrepreneurship, but like 99% of all venture capital investment goes to white men. Like it's a nightmare. And so that's a good
You're
example.
telling me.
Yeah, no, fucking exactly. I don't even have to deal with that. But like, I talk a lot about the disparity of shit in entrepreneurship on a small scale and on a large scale. For people of different races, different genders, and it's a shit show. But yeah, so I have a lot of questions about what you're building. I would love to hear like an introduction on you, what you're building, what FLIK is, and how people can get involved if they are interested. And then, yeah, I have a bunch of questions for you. So,
Okay, cool. Okay, so an introduction to me.
yeah.
I'm Michelle. I was a medical science student, and I honestly had nothing to do with entrepreneurship when I was younger. I didn't know anything about it. And I felt like there wasn't a lot of accessibility to understanding entrepreneurship, especially for women. When I thought about entrepreneurship when I was younger, I was like, oh, you have to be a Mark Zuckerberg, you have to be a Bill Gates, you have to be an Elon Musk to be an entrepreneur. And all of those guys are white guys.
Yeah.
and also all of those people are super tech savvy. So I was like, I just can't be an entrepreneur. I can't build anything in tech. I was in medical sciences. I ended up feeling like very stagnant at school. So I ended up doing a lot of things that ended up being entrepreneurship that I didn't know. I helped start a marketing agency in Vancouver. I worked with Bumble in marketing. But I was like a digital marketer. I told people that I was a digital marketer to get jobs. And I started out in videography and ended up working with a bunch of companies and making videos for them. And then somehow or another, I got introduced to Next 36, which was an entrepreneur. It still is a founders development program, an entrepreneurship program for high impact young entrepreneurs in Canada. And I got into that program, ended up moving into an apartment complex with 36 other entrepreneurs. And we got taught business, we got taught entrepreneurship strategy, economics, like all of this stuff.
That's fascinating.
And it was crazy. It was the first time that I had learned anything about business. The big thing was that me and my co-founder, who were roomed together, we were one of very, very few women in the program. Yeah, that's it. That's Edgar. He was in my cohort.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was pretty amazing experience, but we didn't have a lot of female founders and mentors, so we decided to go find them. And in finding these female founder and mentors, it was like, how are they going to talk to us? Like, we are nobodies. So we created something much like this. We were like, we were going to interview you. Can we chat with you? We just want to interview you and showcase you on our media company. And we created FLIK as a media company essentially at the beginning, just so that we could meet all these women and publicize their stories. And we did. And a lot of the students that were reaching out to us were like, we didn't even know that there were these female leaders. We didn't know that people were working in these innovative industries. How do we connect with these types of people too? So we started thinking, how can we connect these two together?
Yeah.
And we came up with the idea of apprenticeships. Like, this is apprenticeship portal. We can expose young women to entrepreneurship earlier, and they're exposed to entrepreneurship through women who look just like them. And they can help each other navigate barriers and challenges way better than people who have no idea about their backgrounds in any sense. So we started this apprenticeship portal where female founders can sign on, apprentices who are students usually can sign on, and they can find each other, connect, discover each other, request an apprenticeship with each other, and then work together for 3 months, 10 hours or less every week. The apprentice gets to gain skills, valuable mentorship from this amazing female mentor in any industry she likes. And the female mentor gets help on her business, but also early access to this ambitious talent, and can work with them and mold them and probably end up hiring them onto their company. And what we've been hearing a lot of the time is it's kind of like an incubator. It's like when you're in an apprenticeship, you're working in a startup company that's usually 1 to 10 employees. And what you'll notice that when you're working in a startup company, even if you're in digital marketing, you're never just in digital marketing. You're always learning about other parts of the company because everybody needs help and every single sector of the company needs to be scaled. So no matter what, you have to be ready to have your hands on anything. And it ends up being this kind of like mini entrepreneurship incubator that is tailored to what you're interested in. And you learn every sector of the company because every sector of the company needs help.
Yeah, exactly.
And so this is the most like personal way to learn about entrepreneurship, which has been a really crazy journey for all of us.
That's super exciting. Okay, awesome. Yeah, no, for sure. The best way that I kind of learned about like my kind of like path into entrepreneurship was probably relatively conventional. Like, I just talked to a bunch of founders. I had no idea what was going on. I went through an entrepreneurship program. It was a great entrepreneurship program, undergrad in school. It's relatively highly ranked, but I learned 90% of what I know from talking to founders, right? From actually interviewing people that are building real shit, and saying like, how did you go here? How did you know your idea was a good idea? How did you do like customer discovery? I learned what customer discovery was and that entire process, and it was amazing. And then I got to work in a startup, right? That was relatively small, where a lot of different things needed to be fixed or needed to be managed or needed to have some extra hands in them. And so I agree completely. Being an intern or whatever you would call it, an apprenticeship, and working and helping at the really, really early stages of a startup, exposes you to everything. It exposes you to absolutely everything. And it's been really helpful to me, and I've seen it inspire a lot of kids to start their own stuff. So that's really cool. Awesome. And it sounds like it's cool because it sounds like you got a lot of the ideas from this program that you went through, Next 36, and kind of moved it over independently to what the slightly different ecosystem needs.
Yeah, I think Next 36 was definitely a catalyst in my journey. I think I had no idea what entrepreneurship was. I didn't think that I could do it. Until I learned about Next 36 and I got into the program, and even being there, I was like, I don't even belong here. All of these people have done really insane things. Like, half the people were like biomedical engineers. They had built products before. This guy had worked on the Tesla Roadster. This other, like, people had been working in tech VC. I had literally no financial background. I had no business background. I had done some marketing. And I felt like I was a little bit of an imposter there. But going through that program, I realized that everybody has kind of their own genius and everybody has their thing that they can add to the pot.
Yeah.
And I learned more. I probably learned more from the people in the program and interacting with all my colleagues and getting them to help me on finance, getting them to help me on strategy and all of these things, and me in turn contributing to them. Than I did in class.
Yeah, no, I get you.
It was it was awesome. And like some of those guys that you see on the website, they still help us, and we help them. Like that guy Edgar, I'm helping him with, he's like creating this like training app for online fitness trainers.
Mm-hmm.
And my trainer is like a pretty well known trainer that I got to know in Vancouver, and he like helps train Marvel athletes, like
Ooh, like
in
Thor and
like
everybody. Yeah,
Arrow
that's
and
good.
stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, and he's pretty sick. So I ended up connecting them together just because like we all have these networks that can help each other,
Yeah.
and that's just like one of the many things that we've all done for each other. Um,
What a cool
so
ass
yeah, this
connection. I love
network,
that. Yeah.
yeah, definitely keeps us really connected. Like literally before this, we all had a call together with a bunch of the alumni. There were like 140 alumni on one call, just like helping each other, doing a Q&A with each other and collaborating. So yeah, Next 36, the network, like how they say that an MBA network is super helpful and useful, that's the same type of thing.
Yeah, rock on. That's super, super cool. I love that. Um, I actually know somebody else building a fitness app for remote fitness trainers right now, so that's interesting. But yeah, that's epic. I absolutely love that. Yeah, and so you've created this network of kind of connecting people together. That's super, super great. And you are a nonprofit, right? Am I right about that in terms of how you
No,
function?
so we're not a
Okay,
nonprofit
okay,
just
okay.
because we don't want to function on just like donations.
Yeah.
We're creating like a sustainable business model at this time because of coronavirus. Obviously, we are offering it for free for
Mm-hmm.
everybody. It will always be free for students because we do want accessible, practical education to students.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the founders will pay an annual fee to be on the platform.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. So okay, cool. I was gonna ask if it's not nonprofit, then where is it? Yeah, that makes sense. Very, very cool. And so it makes sense. They're getting help with their business. It's kind of like an internship thing. But yeah, that's really, really cool. I love that. Okay. Awesome. And so again, like I was saying before, I eventually want to create something of relative similarity, something where I can like place people somewhere, or I can just create a small incubator to help people build little businesses, right? So maybe that's whether that's like Next 36, whether that's like FLIK. You definitely have a lot more experience in that kind of world than I do, and so I would also eventually like to ask a bit more about that later. But yeah, cool. So we know what FLIK is, and why apprenticeships are important. Very, very cool. Um, it's good to see that you're, and I mentioned it before. It's good to see that you're doing this for women specifically. Just like because it's VC is a nightmare, and that kind of has trickled down economics in terms of what people believe. Like you didn't really have anybody to look up to, and you didn't think that it was possible for you as an individual because the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Elon Musks, the whoever, the Bill Gates of the world are all like white dudes. They're older white dudes, or some of them are young, but like regardless, it's not like there's a ton of there's so little diversity in entrepreneurship. And it was
Yeah.
funny because on one of my first streams on Twitch, I was just hanging out and talking about like building a newsletter or something small, and somebody hopped on. They found me on Twitch just randomly because I tagged myself right, and they hopped on. I think their name was like Anxiety Batman. Their like username was Anxiety Batman. I was like, that's hilarious. But the first thing they said, the first thing they typed into the little chat was just like, oh, look, another pretty white boy interested in finance, and they were just like ripping on me, and I was like, I love you. Like, and we had like ended up having a great conversation back and forth, but like because it is bullshit. And I try to be like aware that like white dudes are like in when it comes to finance, when it comes to business, when it comes to management, when it comes to like even not entrepreneurship, just the entire world, that everything that entrepreneurship tends to touch, it's so absurdly, unfairly dominated by dudes, and it's super, super bullshit. And I would love to the goal of the incubator that I would theoretically build is to make it like especially inclusive, right? And I don't want to charge the individuals. I don't want to charge the students. Like education shouldn't cost anything. I'm experimenting with a little online school right now, and I want to make that super, super accessible, like $20 a month, $25 a month, something like small that people can afford, right? Because otherwise, like universities, entrepreneurship programs, some of these online courses that a lot of people advertise, like the Gary Vee and a lot of these other big influencers online that are quote unquote the entrepreneurs, are expensive and unfair.
Right.
I don't know. It's really, really weird. I'm not exactly sure how that arised beyond just America is shitty at this kind of stuff. But it needs to change. Yeah. So I'm glad to see that people like you are building stuff in this space. I don't know. Are there any like other initiatives that you really like in this space that you would recommend I check out? Because I want to like look at everybody trying to make this kind of stuff accessible.
I mean, we have like partnerships with several. Let me just pull it up. We have partnerships with several organizations that aim to help female founders and female students.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so for female students who are looking to go into hackathons, Tech Together is one that we've been working with.
Tech Together. Okay. Techtogether.io. Different career paths in tech together.
Yeah, it's really amazing because they
Awesome.
support females in hackathons, and if you go to a hackathon, you're pretty hard pressed to find girls. Like a lot of time when we would show up to hackathons, it'd be all guys, and girls are really intimidated. Like a lot of the time they also get looked down upon by being there. People will be like, oh, you probably don't know what you're doing. I don't really want you on my team. There's a lot of these like inherent barriers that maybe it's not a barrier to get into a hackathon, but it's kind of a barrier to be there. And to have the experience there. So Tech Together is doing a lot to mitigate that. I think their first they wanted to make a hackathon just for fun, and their very first hackathon they were like, we're just gonna do one, it's just gonna be a one-time thing, and they had over 800 people apply to be part of the hackathon.
That's epic.
And they're like, oh my gosh, it can't be a one-time thing.
Yeah, that's epic. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Awesome.
Yeah, they were great. We just like work with a ton of other female founder organizations. So like the Veneta Project.
I've heard the Veneta Project.
Yeah, so we're working with them now. It's a New York-based organization that connects female founders with the right investors. So they really attack the kind of lack of capital and resources type of area for female founders. Capital to conquer. See.
Awesome.
Yeah, so they work with high growth female tech ventures to connect them with the right people and with the right investors, angel investors, seed stage funding. It's really, really, what you don't realize is how important it is who your seed stage funders or your angel investors are, because those people who are going to be your first supporters, they better be like your ride or die. They're the ones who are going to be supporting you through and throughout.
Yep.
And when there's a lot of times where female founders have taken on investment just because they just desperately need capital, but they've taken on for the wrong person who doesn't necessarily believe in their vision and maybe even wants to just take over their company. And more times than not, it's like the females like have trouble with the self-confidence part of it, where if something like that is happening to them, it's so difficult. You feel like somebody's attacking you.
Yeah.
And it does happen a lot to women-led ventures.
Yeah, I've heard.
We're also working with, this is awesome.
They're killing it. Yeah, fuck, I didn't realize it was this huge. This is great. Fuck yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah. What was the next suggestion?
We're working with Forum for Women Entrepreneurs.
Forum for Women Entrepreneurs. This is awesome, by the way. Thank you for sending me these, because I need to learn more about this, because like I'm a white dude. Like I have not experienced a lot of the shit that's going on, and like I know it's a problem. I do not know what to like. I know to some small degree what scale, but like if I'm gonna build something that's truly accessible to people, like I need to see exactly what everybody else is doing. If I'm gonna
this is awesome, because they also help like idea stage startups. So they have so many resources where if you're a female and you're looking to build a business, even if you're just in the idea stage, they have programs to help support you.
That's awesome.
Also, they have like support webinars throughout this time. If you're looking to build your community, if you're looking to build a business during this time, it's awesome.
Love it. I love seeing more people hop on like the live streaming or webinars or anything like that. I'm glad that people are coming together and still making stuff while everything's shitty. Cool. Awesome. Idea stage.
So the CEO of FWE is on our platform as well.
Yeah.
And she's taking on she's awesome.
Hell yeah.
And so if you are a female student looking to work with a bunch of female entrepreneurs and investors and business leaders, she has all the connections, and she's also a best-selling author.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very, very cool. Also, by the way, I would love to post a little bit more about FLIK, just as an opportunity, because I know you've opened up the platform relatively recently. I would love to post about it on LinkedIn and see if I can find any people. I feel like just from what I've seen, most of my audience just is male, and I'm really frustrated about that, and I want to improve that. But there's definitely a lot of people that have reached out to me that would definitely be a great fit for this kind of thing. So I'd love
Yeah,
to
if they're
post about
interested
it.
at all, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let me make a little note to post. Actually, let me pull up Notion, because Notion's where I keep all my content shit.
Notion.
I fucking love Notion, dude. Oh my god.
Mhm.
Notion is a dream. Okay, cool. FLIK. FLIK recruiting. Tag website. Open to women. Just to give myself a couple notes. Cool. Awesome. I'll make a post about that at some point soon. Very fun. But perfect. Okay, cool. This is really, really cool. Yeah. And I want to promote as much of this as I possibly can.
Yeah,
Because
that'd
this
be
shit's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah. I saw you were, I can't remember, I saw Jeremy Becker share it, and then I think I saw one of your posts too about producing more positive content online right now around, because everything's just a shit show. I think that's really cool. Yeah, I'm trying to just seek out people that are pushing really positive stuff, because a lot of people I know are really stressed.
Yeah, I feel like, a lot of people are really stressed. A lot of students are kind of left being like, what to do.
What do I do? Yeah.
And depending on where you are in your life, there are a lot of ways to stay productive, but obviously it depends on really your situation.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to push out like non-biased, just positive stuff, just good vibes.
Rock on. That's great. Yeah. And for anybody watching, definitely follow Michelle. Let me see if I can pop your LinkedIn profile in the chat, just so anybody that views this can see it. I just looked you up. There you are. Michelle Kwok Media. I love it. And then I'll pop this right here. Follow. Smiley face. Enter. Paste. Boom. Cool. Awesome. Great. I really like what you're doing, and I wanna see if I can support as much as I can. But okay, cool, awesome. So you would recommend these? That's great. Any other groups that you're? Yeah.
Well, for the Canadians out there, we obviously are partnered with League of Innovators, and that truly does get you from idea stage to like launch, like $100,000 monthly revenue and more.
That's awesome.
And so Jeremy and I are both on the Alumni Advisory Council of League of Innovators.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been seeing like an insane amount of stuff come out of Canada around entrepreneurship. I'm honestly, I think the US is slacking right now, because like a lot of the stuff that I've seen and a lot of the successful people I've seen on social media, mostly on LinkedIn, maybe it's just my network. Maybe I just tend to be more connected with Canadian entrepreneurs, but like there's a lot of stuff going on in Canada about that helps this kind of stuff. There's a lot of really widespread incubators, and I'm really impressed with it. I wish
facts.
America could fucking catch up, at least on the student side, at least on like the young person side. It just feels like
definitely League of Innovators is doing such a good job from like youth entrepreneurs in particular. They literally start from, if you're in high school, you have an idea, we have a program for you.
Fuck yeah.
All the way to like your Forbes 30 under 30, you still need help to scale and accelerate your business. We are here for you, and this is the program for you.
Awesome.
So everything like LOI Foundations, LOI Labs, LOI Launch, they have something for you. They've definitely been our top supporters whenever we're applying for grants. Joanna is the executive director, and she's my reference. Yeah, Tara Bosch is a Forbes 30 under 30. She's the founder of Smart Sweets. If anyone's heard of them, awesome. They're like, this is the biggest like candy company that doesn't have sugar.
That's awesome. Oh my god. No, yeah, I
honestly look it up. Smart Sweets is sick.
I'm
Their
curious,
branding is sick too. She's like one of the top female founders from LOI as well.
Kick sugar, keep candy.
It's good. Ooh. That stuff is addicting.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh, I've heard of these. I have heard of these. Yes. Oh, this is great. Oh, I love this. Okay, yeah, they got your gummy bears. They got like your little Starburst-esque
and
things.
She's like 23 or something.
Fuck yeah.
You know?
Oh my god.
And they're hitting like 60 million in revenue this year.
That's insane. Like,
come on.
That's great. Oh man.
Another one who's really amazing too. So if you want to follow any like female founders,
I
Tara
would
Bosch
love
is
to.
great, but
Okay, yeah, awesome.
Bloom. So just go bloom.com. It's BLUME.com.
Bloom.com.
Like their branding is sick too. Oh, it's
Whoa.
so good.
That's
Yeah,
so
they're also Forbes 30 under
smooth.
30. They're LOI alum. They've worked with like huge brands. They were in C100, which is like a San Francisco incubator for Canadian companies, and all of those companies are like insane. Um, yeah, they have smooth
This is
branding,
sleek,
and
yeah.
oh, it's good.
Ooh.
Yeah, we work alongside them.
That's awesome. Oh, I love this. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna find the founders of both of these and shoot them a connection request and just see what they're making. That's really cool. Okay, great. Awesome. Yeah, I love these stories of just young kids just building these amazing things. That's so cool.
No, they're like millions in revenue. They're busy all the time. Like even though we work side by side, our desks are literally side by side. She's like, I just sent you my calendar so that you can put in a request a time. And it's like a month later. It's like your calendar is
Yeah. Oh
out.
my god, I love that. That's really funny. No,
Yeah.
fuck, I
So
love this.
Taryn, one of the founders of Bloom, she dropped out of law school to start it.
Fuck yeah. Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like
I love stories of like deep in business or like deep in law or like deep in some like more like technical like businessy career and then just go and just like complete 180 towards like consumer products that they just enjoy, right? And like in an industry that people like really like. I love shit like that. There's a couple founders in Pittsburgh that have done stuff like that and I just it makes me so happy. People
I
following
love those
passions.
stories. It's only people only love it when you're successful
Oh no, oh absolutely,
though.
yeah, no. So like one thing that I really talk a ton about online is like don't drop out of your job, don't drop out of school, just build it while you're doing that other shit, right? Like
Yeah,
spend it like
do it while you're in school. I
do
always say that. I'm like,
absolutely
you have so much flexibility while you're
so
in
much
school. You still have
flexibility.
that safety net. It also looks great if you're working
It
on
looks
something while you're
it
in
looks way
school.
more impressive than like any internship to like try building something even if you fail. It's such a good idea to build something while you're in school. Yeah. I never
Yeah,
recommend dropping out ever. I've written articles on this. I've written ever like it's people like the typical entrepreneur's journey is like I had a job but then I had a passion. I dropped out and I followed my passion and look where it brought
job.
me.
Oh,
Fuck off. No, like that's not how it works. There are like thousands, millions of people that have been screwed by that mentality. We don't hear from them because
yeah.
they're not
You
around.
don't.
Because they
Yeah,
got financially
exactly.
fucked. Like
You
it's
only hear the success stories.
exactly. Oh my god, it scares the hell to me. Like I wish there was data on that kind of stuff. I wish there was data. Like if you have heard like seen any articles or anything written on that, I would love to hear about it because I want to scare people like into like pursuing this in like a way that makes sense because there's just so much
Yeah,
like fluff out there and that I hate it. It terrifies me because there are so many students and so many individuals and so many like professionals that are safe and in a good place and they like yes they're frustrated. If you're frustrated, start building something on the side. There's plenty of ways that you can like maximize the amount of time and building your thing and minimize the amount of time that you're doing work. There's a lot of stuff that you can research online. There's probably more information about that and just the general like pursue your passion. Just I feel like screws so many people, but we don't know about it and we only hear from the successful people and that just scares me because so many people are getting the wrong information. I don't know. I need data on that so I can just publish graphs and like write a
yeah.
full ass report. I want to publish so much on that scary side of things.
Well,
Yeah,
specifically for Bloom and like Taryn was saying how they set goals. They had started it while she was in law school, and they had set goals like when we hit this amount of MRR, then we're going to drop out and pursue this full time. But if we
exactly.
don't do that, then we're not going to.
Exactly. There needs to be it needs to be a contingency plan. You dropping out and quitting everything else that you're doing to pursue this full time should be a contingency. It should be like plan B. It should be like an option, right? It shouldn't be
Yeah,
the only way to do this kind of thing. It doesn't take a lot of time to start something. It takes a lot of time to run something once things are successful and you're growing, but it doesn't take a lot of time to start something. I've started like small little projects that have grown to decent sizes genuinely a weekend. Just building the website, making a little press release or writing some stuff on social media and getting a couple of little users. It does not
yeah.
take long to
Honestly,
start
social
something.
media is magical.
It really is, yeah. I try to use it only for business things, but of course I get distracted too because people have hassled me a lot like what's your opinion on social media? Social media is bad, right? And I'm like, well, no, it's just like bad if you use it a certain way. I don't know. There's so many
No, I'm
opinions.
obsessed with social media.
I am too. Yeah,
I
it's a lot of
honestly
fun.
can do what I'm doing without social media.
No, me too. My entire thing is built off of LinkedIn. Yeah, very cool. Okay, awesome. Sick, great, lit. So, if I were to, one of my people that are viewing on Twitch, they were like, nobody hears the people that drop out stories because they're working at Walmart now. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's a little over sassy, but yes, you probably are in a much worse scenario you would like to be in, or you were before if you dropped out and things didn't end up working out. Yeah, cool, awesome. So another question for you: if I were like, I don't know, like it's very, very broad, and I would love to just kind of like brainstorm a little bit. But I want to build something. I want to build an incubator-ish thing. I would love to ideally like fund people that don't have the ability to purchase a little software to get started, right? Because like I really like tools like MailChimp, right? Like if you're gonna build a little newsletter and a little website, you can build a landing page and a newsletter entirely on MailChimp in literally a weekend and just go, right? And just get started and futz with it from there. There are all these like really cheap or free no-code tools that I love promoting just to build things like this. And ideally, like those are the only things that we would be using. But sometimes building a website or sometimes building something smaller or more substantial might need a bit more capital, or especially if you're building like a hardware product, like there's a whole lot more that goes into that in terms of initial capital. And I would love to like the idea that I have in my head is like raise a little bit of money, raise like 20K. And just have like a little fund that we use to like give individuals that apply and have like clearly like know what they're doing and go through some basic educational courses or stay in a little school with me for a little while, whatever it is. Like they know what to do and they know how to do it. They just don't have the funds. Maybe that's like $500, just a small little starting kind of thing for a little lifestyle business or a little initiative, even if it doesn't produce revenue. Maybe for their school or their community. I would love to just raise like a small little fund and like start giving that kind of thing away to students that really like actually need it.
Well, there's two things that we're partnered with that kind of do that already. Kind of. So there's TST Founders Fund that we're a part of, and we're partnered with them. Founders Fund.
Founders Fund. TST Founders Fund. TST. What an interesting name. Okay, TST. Let's go to their TST. Okay.
And you just go foundersfund.ca.
Oh wait, this might be foundersfund.ca. Okay. Fucking Canada, they're so supportive of high school entrepreneurship. I love it. I want to like.
No, this isn't high school entrepreneurship. This is like female founders across Canada. You can apply to be part of Founders Fund, and you pay like some sort of application fee to be part of it. And then when you're in it, all of that money gets pooled, and then it becomes a fund where people can win money from it based on their ideas. Also, they have like investors. So maybe you can click on like maybe who we are. I actually don't know how to navigate their site. You can click on like mentors and funders. So you can see that who we are. Under who we are, there's funders.
Okay.
And you can see the funders of 2020.
Let's see.
And so all of these people who are listed have donated a certain amount of money for non-equity funding.
Okay, awesome.
And so this all becomes part of a bigger fund.
This is cool.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
I love this. Shopify's involved. That's great.
Yeah. Sheena Brady has worked at Shopify for a really long time. I think she's high up in Shopify. So when she started Founders Fund, they were extremely supportive of it.
I love that.
Apparently Shopify is super supportive of like female entrepreneurship.
I've seen a lot of their stuff in terms of supporting entrepreneurship. I think it makes sense because Shopify is a tool that you can use to like build your
own. For
entrepreneurs. Exactly. Yeah, it's for starting entrepreneurs. So I love it. I want to get more involved in Shopify and start using their tools a little bit more. Actually, that would be.
So this is a really cool model where they just have a pool of a pool of funders who put together money, but also the entrepreneurs buy into it, and they also put together a pool of money so that people who have amazing ideas can get funded without any equity being given up.
That's great.
Another one is SheEO, so it's like SHEEO.
That's great. SheEO.
Their model's really cool too. They have activators, so if you like.
Membership.
Yeah, I think you're on the wrong thing.
Oh, am I really? Oh, this is completely different. Yeah, what the heck? SheEO.org, SheEO.world. I was working.
Yeah, SheEO.world.
Okay, cool. Interesting. I've never seen .world. That's cool. SheEO. Which one is the activators? Okay. Become an activator.
Yeah, they have activators from 14 to 94 years old. And it's a one-time payment, so you
learn more.
So you pay a certain amount and you become an activator. And this goes into a pool for non-equity funding for female-led ventures as well. So female-led ventures will apply for this funding, and you can start your business just like you were talking about. And the activators can also be mentors as well.
That's great. I love this. Monthly payments, $92. Yeah. This is awesome. Oh, I love this. Okay. Yeah, that's such a simple little, I love how they phrase it. Like it's just a simple little buy-in and you can make a huge impact. That's great. Oh, I love this.
So those are cool.
90% of your contribution.
Other places that are really working with female founders. I think 500 Startups is also
500 is pretty lit.
Going to be working a lot with female entrepreneurs. So you should definitely keep up with them.
Yeah.
To see, I'm pretty sure they're going to be working with youth entrepreneurs as well. They're awesome.
I would love to see that. Yeah, I would love to just see like, and I know I didn't assume that the Founders Fund was for high school, but like everything that I've seen come out, like a lot of stuff that every like high school entrepreneurship program that like has even remotely like legs and has been around for even a little bit of time, like they are in Canada. And it's like Canada's so good at like early entrepreneurship and so supportive of that kind of shit. I love that. I don't see that in the US. I don't know why. Maybe we just have an older kind of mentality around it. I don't know. I love it though.
It's a really seed thing. Yeah. It's really how can you start watering the seed when it's just a seed? Like it hasn't grown a bud yet and you still believe in it. I think it really starts at the core of high school entrepreneurship programs being in high school.
Yeah.
Like my high school just started an entrepreneurship program, and apparently 90% of the class wants to be entrepreneurs now, which is so crazy.
Fuck
like
yeah.
When I was there, I was like a doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. I taught something that I'm going to try to push out a lot more is I taught this was a couple months ago before everything hit with COVID and everything. But I taught a little seminar series at a local middle school in Pittsburgh for a class of a couple classes, like 3 classes of 6th grade girls. And it was like a ton of fun. Essentially, like the concepts of entrepreneurship are not that hard. Like there is a process to it. It's like customer discovery, find an issue, like solve it via an existing solution or create your own. Like the process that like is a little bit creative, yes, but it's not like some unbelievably complicated, impossible thing that is completely different every time. There's very much a process to it. I boiled that down from what I learned in college with a faculty member over at my university, and we just taught for like a month. Every time we would go in, and we would like every week for a month we would go in and we would just talk to these girls and be like, hey, entrepreneurship, and they came up with like these awesome ideas. Like one of them wanted to support like refugees locally and support organizations that help refugees and create internal software or internal like tools to make it easier for them. Another one wanted to create like vet on the go, so when you couldn't get to a veterinarian clinic, which is actually much more applicable now, like how do you get like materials and tools and medicine for your pets. Like, all these great little ideas, and they were just running with them. They were experimenting, and it was so much fun. Like even at middle school, like these kids can learn this shit. Like it's not. I just for some reason.
It's a mindset. It's literally just like a mindset of you can do whatever you want to create. If you want to create something, why don't you just try? Like when you're in school, it doesn't matter how old you are. You can always create something different.
Yeah.
Like kids who make lemonade stands or bake cookies to raise money for, that's entrepreneurship, but we just never said that before.
Exactly. Yeah. And I like with my content online, I try to focus. There's a lot of people that work on the mindset stuff, right? There's a lot of people that support like the general, like you can do it, like there is flexibility, there are opportunities. And I like that. That is extremely important for a lot of people. I think like the next step is just like a very, very tiny little introduction to like, here's an easy way to build a quick little thing to get started. Here's a quick little way to like the tools and the processes and like just a basic little thing along with that motivation and mindset to just like get started with something really tiny. Because once you get started with something really tiny, you understand I could go on Google and like, how do I build a newsletter? How do I build an incubator? Like I could Google a ton of things and figure out tools that people have previously used to experiment with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, you know what I'm not with though? I hate when people randomly will just be like, every single piece of their content is like, just do it, or like
I hate that. I hate Gary Vee.
You're not productive because you haven't built a company at 23.
There's this. Oh my god, I don't know who he is, but I want to find his name. There's this like old dude that always dresses in like really fancy suits and has like a chain hanging out of his pocket, but he's constantly like yelling at like the only thing that he speaks about is he screams at his audience about like, I have 17-year-olds flying in private jets, what the fuck are you doing with your life? And I'm like, how are you helping people? Like
I'm
so
not with it.
Oh my god, there are so many people online like this. The entire reason that I created EntrepreNerd and like try to create content around like practical first steps into building something, right, is exclusively because I got nothing from that kind of shit online, from these other people that are building like just generally.
I feel like it just made me feel poor about myself.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't motivate me. It's just like, well, then I probably like it doesn't help at all.
Yeah, every time people ask those people questions, it's like, oh, it's because you're lazy. I'm like, no, there's a lot of other factors that could be factored into their lives. You have no idea what's going on with them. You have no idea what their family's going through right now.
Exactly, what position they're in financially.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many things. And even if you came from this like immigrant background without a lot of money, you could have had different types of factors that helped you get to where you are, and it's not necessarily that somebody else is lazy and that you weren't.
Exactly. No, absolutely.
And I think that a lot of motivational speakers kind of harp on that thing where it's like, if you're not hustling all the time, if you're sleeping too much, if you're taking that time to hang out with your friends, well, actually taking time to hang out with your friends is a good thing.
Yeah,
it's part of the balance. Like,
I hate that shit. I hate all of that. Like, there's like the mentality. There's also like like some people, yes, maybe you aren't working hard enough, sure, but like, and there are ways to work a little bit harder, but like, you can work like healthy. Like I take my fucking time with a lot of the shit that I do. Like I'm not moving very quickly by any means on a lot of things that I'm building. I'm trying really hard. Like whenever I have free time and I'm like feeling it, like I am working on my stuff, right? But there's this really, really big mentality around like just unhealthy amounts of work and push and drive and effort and all these different kinds of things that just also does not do anything for you as a starting entrepreneur. I don't. It bothers me a whole fucking lot. That's the whole reason that I started the shit that I started. I'm like, I'm not big. I'm not helping a ton of people, but like, that's the message that I'm trying to push out. It's the same exact.
But that's kind of why I struggled with calling myself an entrepreneur at the beginning. And people would always be like, oh, so what are you? I'd be like, oh, I'm just starting a project. It's because of that freaking mentality. I feel like whenever you tell somebody you're an entrepreneur, they'll be like, oh, so like you hustle all the time. And they like kind of make fun of you because that is what
exactly
entrepreneurs are known for, right?
Yeah.
Like if you put entrepreneur on your Instagram bio, everybody is kind of like, oh, like what you do? You like drop
really?
shipping?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly. No,
you know what I mean? It's like you hustle all the time. You should be making millions of dollars. You know what my goal is? My goal is to be like a millionaire or something like that. And
what's your fucking?
And you're like, what? No.
It bothers the hell out of me. The whole entrepreneurship like community online currently is just really full of the hustle mentality. It's like hustle porn, as I call it, and it's just it. I have discovered that I have an entirely like with the stuff that I make and like oh, I built this little thing, or like, oh, this is this kind of little thing, like maybe we'll try to monetize it, maybe we'll just try to help people, like just like little mini projects. That I've realized that that's a completely different like audience. It's a completely there's so many people that are just so into entrepreneurship exclusively because they want to be rich or they want to be powerful or they want to be better than
Yeah.
other people. There is such a fucked up mentality around like, I am better than you because I'm spending more time doing shit, right? Like because I'm working
Or people
harder,
think
because
that
I'm
they're
making more
better than
money.
others because they're an entrepreneur and that they
Oh
can
my
call
God.
themselves that,
I
which
hate that.
bothers me as
I
well.
hate that. I talk about that a lot. Yeah.
It's like, what it should be, what are you doing to better the world in some sort of way? How are you creating one more like positive impact in the world? Doesn't matter if it's small or large.
Exactly.
And as an entrepreneur, how can you amplify that? Not, I'm an entrepreneur first and then I'm going to figure it out. It's
No,
like,
yeah.
you don't just join the hustle culture and become an entrepreneur, you
Exactly.
know?
Yeah. I know
And I
people
feel
that
like that has really been in the minds of people in our
I
generation.
hate it so much. The most of the stuff that I see on hashtag entrepreneurship, hashtag startups on the internet, on LinkedIn, on wherever, like on like from people that like are like actually building real shit. Like the content that they create is genuinely like entrepreneurship is hard, man. Like this is not just something that you do like just because you love it. Like this is something that like it's about like how difficult it is and how tough it is and how cool you are. Like, but for the few people that like really like take that commitment, like you're the real ones. Like what is that? Like there is a really messed up mentality of because I exactly how you said it, because I'm an entrepreneur or because I am pursuing something or because I am just freelance. Like there's even the mentality around freelance, like just because I don't have a like 9-to-5 job, I am better than you because I have a little bit more flexibility. Like no, like it is just a different lifestyle, and your impact should be absolutely, you phrased it perfectly, it should be measured based on how many people you're helping and how much of like an actual impact you're making, not how much money you're making, not how many employees you have or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's
And
oh
I
my
feel like
God,
it's really perpetuated right now on TikTok, actually,
it
where
is.
people will be like, look, this is how I make like $7,000 a
I
week.
hate it. I hate it.
And this is how I have a Tesla at this age. And it's like, you can make all this stuff by drop shipping and increasing the amount on all of these products that I
Blah
just got
blah blah.
online. And
Yeah.
you're like, no, I don't know. I don't think that that is the thing that we should be perpetuating right
It's
now.
not.
There's so many issues in the world. Obviously, with like coronavirus, you can see how different the world is now and how we definitely need social change immediately, not later.
Yeah.
Um, it's not about how can you drop ship like masks that are pretty right now for people. It's like, how can you actually make a tangible change and maybe even just like volunteer time to help with the coronavirus, because there's so many people who are trying to mitigate the virus right now for the entire world, and people are aren't even looking into ways of how to help.
Yeah. It's
Um,
unbelievable. Yeah. It's so there's just such a power scenario based on money, and kids get taught early on that money makes you better, money makes you happier, right? Like you'll have a better life the more money that you make. And so the appeal that people sell things on in terms of entrepreneurship is the money. It's the cash that you can create and how much richer you can be than everybody else and how much more fun that you can have, right? And like I don't
yeah.
it's
And there's
just a
yeah,
monetary thing.
obviously there's the financial side comes into all of it. Definitely what we
Yeah,
learned at Next 36 is
of course.
you need to have a sustainable business model,
Yeah.
but you can have a social enterprise and have a sustainable business model at the same time, or you can have a company have like a corporate social responsibility regulation and be doing good in the world and having positive impact, and also be attuned to capitalism. Like you can have both, that they're not mutually exclusive.
I
And
agree.
I feel like that is something that people just don't think about.
I agree completely. Yeah. And actually, a good point that one of my viewers just said is like having employees that you can pay is helping people. People need a paycheck, which is a very good point. Yeah. If you can employ people that need help, like that is also an extremely positive thing. I think that is definitely underlooked as part of an impact. But yeah, generally, like impact is not put first. Impact is absolutely not put first. And that's like not the mentality that people have around entrepreneurship. It's super frustrating. So yeah, I'm glad we agree on that. But I would love to start something in this space at some point. I am trying to, like I said, create a small little school where every week I like put a little thing out like, hey, this week I like to use a newsletter as an example because it's really simple. But like this week we're going to build a newsletter. I'm going to be your first subscriber. You're going to send me little landing pages that you make. I'm going to teach you how to do this. Here's a little tutorial. Go and make it, right? And the things that got my mind running in terms of entrepreneurship at a younger age. It wasn't that young. I think I was like 19, 20. But for a lot of people, that's relatively an early introduction into entrepreneurship. And I just went online. I asked people, like, how do I build a newsletter? I think I could do this with a newsletter because I had an idea. And somebody recommended MailChimp. I hopped on MailChimp. I experimented with it for a week, and it took me like 10 hours to futz with it, but I got it up. And once I got that up and running, and once I started experimenting with it, I was like, holy shit, this is a thing. And I my mind just went off with all these different ideas. Like I could, this is how I could do publication for like a different kind of idea. Like just knowing that things are an option and are easy to make and are easy to create or prototype has been the best thing that I've seen for a lot of early entrepreneurs to get started building shit, right? It's just about that. I learned through trying stuff, and I feel like that's the best way for people to learn, is just by experimenting on their own. I've thrown like literally 30 ideas and 30 projects that I have started in the trash, but I know how to build all of those things now. Because I've fucked with them. Yeah, it's such a huge thing. That's the same story that I've seen a lot of like early entrepreneurs have. It's just they futzed with so many different things before they got started.
I totally forgot. You're literally reminding me. I tried to start like 3 streetwear lines. I had no idea about fashion. I literally don't even know how to dress myself. I don't know why I did that.
I've done some crazy stuff. Yeah.
Did like media design. I learned Adobe Illustrator. I used to like produce music and like sell little tunes online.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
I totally forgot I did this stuff. And then obviously like services, like I learned how to do videography by myself, and I helped promote like alcohol companies. I was like a alcohol promoter, like a party promoter.
Hell yeah.
Wow, I did so much random shit just to figure things out, and that was honestly the best type of education I ever had.
100%. Same for me. Yeah. I started a little website that did affiliate marketing for nose rings, because I did a little bit of SEO research, and I realized that nose rings weren't super talked about on the internet. There wasn't a ton of articles on them, and I did investigation into that, and I started that little website. I ended up dumping that in the trash after like a few months, because I just didn't put enough time into it. Maybe it would have been successful, who knows? But I just was too distracted with like 6 other things, because I just went through a period of like a year and a half where I was just trying everything all at once, and I just throwing like 20 different things into the fire and seeing what would happen. And I knew nothing about nose rings. I don't have one. I don't have a tattoo. Like it's completely an industry that I have no concept about. But I just,
what I get, right? People always ask me, like, how do I know that I'm an entrepreneur? Like, how do I know that it might be something that I want to do in the future?
Yeah.
And I feel like there's always these little things where you're like, looking back, I can see all of these random things that I tried to do. And even though I didn't think it was entrepreneurship at the time, and I was just doing a project, you kind of see that pattern in your life where, I tried to start a project. I tried to start a club. I tried to do this, tried to do that. You might have failed a bunch of times, but it's just like that mentality of you thinking that you could do it, and you starting it is that entrepreneurship mentality.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's super interesting. I want to and the whole school that I'm trying to build, still very early stage, but the whole thing would be about like fucking around with these little projects, right? Like, okay, here's a new little thing that we can run with. Let's just build this. Even if you don't use it, we're going to use free tools. We're going to spend like $5 at most, just like experimenting. We're going to use free trials of just shit online and little website builders. Just to see, like, this is possible. This is a thing that you can build. So if you have an idea in the future and it requires this kind of infrastructure, spin that shit up and go. Like, just try it, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I super love it. One of my toasts just said, how do you measure impact if not from sales, volume, and revenue? What is the objective metric of societal impact? Is a game app less impactful, quote unquote, than a fitness app? Is selling new shoes more impactful than selling used hats? Is it a waste of time to judge the value of an entrepreneur based on the impact? He thinks it's a waste of time to judge the value of an entrepreneur based on the impact of their product. What we're saying is not that you shouldn't make money and that you should help people. I am all for like making a ton of money if you can solve a big problem. The only thing that I'm saying is like a lot of the stuff online is like around like drop shipping, right? Around like selling something for a premium here and like being the middleman. Like a lot of that stuff is promoted exclusively because of the value of the money that you're going to be making and putting in your pocket so you can buy all this cool shit, right? That is the negative side that I think we're talking about. We're not saying that business is not good, right? Business is good. I eventually would like to like have a decent amount of money so I can spend more time like putting money into awesome people doing great things, like that would be a future like thing for me. I would love to. I think that's a part, like a small motivator for all of us. Yeah. But there are a lot of things online that are promoted around entrepreneurship that are promoted exclusively because of you're going to make a shitload of money with this, which is not how entrepreneurship works. You need to find a problem. If you solve a problem, you will end up making money. It should be problem first. The education around entrepreneurship online should be problem focused first. If you find a problem and you solve it in a simple way, you will get paid and you will probably make a good amount of money, right? But the education should be around fixing something that helps people, right? And people shouldn't be able to brag because they started some like lucrative little like loophole, because a lot of people honestly like make a bunch of money off of screwing people. There are a lot of people online. What's a good example? There's this guy. I love this guy. His name's Coffee. I would love to get him on the show. I've been emailing him like every day. CoffeeZilla. He has. Have you seen my masterclass yet? Like, there's all these. He produces all these funny videos about like screw all of the gurus on the internet, and he breaks down a lot of the bullshit that people make. He's very clickbaity, silly kind of things, but Erico's student lost $26,000 from being like. There are these people online that screw people, and they have get rich quick schemes, and they're doing really well, but they're not like helping people necessarily. But they post a ton online about entrepreneurship. They are the biggest people that post content around entrepreneurship, and it gives the wrong mentality around why you should get into building a company, right?
And I would hop onto that and say that it's not a waste of time to judge the value. It's not a waste of time to measure your impact. I think especially now, corporate social responsibility is becoming such a prevalent part of entrepreneurship.
For sure.
That if you're starting a business, most of your consumers are going to be Gen Z, and 80% of Gen Z considers the social impact of the business that they're putting their money into, which is why there's so many of these ads coming out from like big companies like Nike. Like, they don't necessarily need to say they love women, but they have all of these like women focused ads because that's what they're trying to appeal to now, right? You have to have measurable impact. For us, we've applied to a bunch of accelerators and grants, and every single time they're like, how do you measure your impact? And it's become this kind of baseline measurement that you have to quantify.
Yeah, exactly. I agree completely.
And I would say that you don't have to say that a game app is less impactful than a fitness app, or that a shoe is less impactful than used hat. Like, I'm not saying I'm more impactful than anybody. We're just saying that if you do have the power and you are at the board table and you have that power to create some change, like, why can't you bring some sort of positive impact into whatever you're doing? It doesn't have to be inherently like
the bottom line. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I agree. And that's a really good point. Like, even if you are money motivated, even if you are in larger business, even if you are like kind of in that world, or you just want to get into entrepreneurship because you want to be rich, like, whatever it is, like, there is still a very, very strong like benefit, just monetarily and just success wise, to help people,
and like,
right?
Brand equity, like,
exactly,
brand equity and consumer satisfaction is so tied to impact these days.
Oh, absolutely.
That even if you are 100% capitalistic, you are going to think about social impact at some point in building your business.
Exactly. Yeah, it's important because people care about that now. It's just on a bottom line. People, Gen Z cares about that kind of shit. So it's important to think about it regardless of where you are or what your priorities are. So, but yeah, rock on. Very cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely going to be in the future, like, as I kind of like form an idea, I would love to, is there any like, do you think that I could find investment? That's a stupid question, but like, do you think that I could find investment like $20,000 from somebody that is motivated towards something like this? If I could start like a small little incubator where people apply, I can help people like get that first little round of capital to build some small little thing. Is that like something that you've seen? It sounds like you've seen similar things. You recommended a few to me.
I would say that what I've seen is people willing to donate like a few $1,000s, and they end up being like mentors in the business as well, because it brings value to them to be on a board of a business.
Yeah. Okay. Good point.
So if I were you, I'd be like, you can donate this amount of money and you can be on the board of these couple like startups and have a board seat, and you become an advisor, and you can put that on your LinkedIn and also give back to the next generation of entrepreneurs. I think a lot of people who are successful or even for example, like my brother, he's in investment banking. He has money like left over that he would love to use to create an impact. So he's always asked me, are there businesses that you think that I would be useful towards? Because he has a huge, strong financial background.
That's
So
awesome.
maybe he would want to work with a fintech business.
That's
And
really
if
cool.
I ever come across like a fintech business that's interesting that he could contribute to, he would love to put some money into it and then also be one of their advisors. And he gains a lot of value from that. So I think that, and he's like not super high up in investment banking or anything. So I'm sure that there are other people who are even higher up than him who have more money to put in and who have more resources that they can offer. So if you're able to find that kind of niche that has that disposable income, is looking to help entrepreneurs, doesn't necessarily want to be an entrepreneur themselves, but wants to kind of be in that world, I think there's definitely a market for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree completely. Okay, cool. Yeah. And that's a good point. Would I have to be, I think I would have to be a nonprofit in order to do this kind of thing, wouldn't I? Like if I was going to do, like, kind of copy the model of CEO. I love that name, CEO.
You could also do it like kind of like a venture firm where
Yeah.
you get like 2% of their company.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Which is actually probably what I would like to do. Yeah, just a small little thing, and I help fund the initial kind of push. Okay, yeah, cool, awesome. And what model is a venture fund in terms of a business? Are they a B Corp? Are they like what's their structure? Do you know? I would just probably look it up.
I don't know like the ins and outs of it, but a venture fund typically invests at a certain rate. So
Yeah, yeah.
the like an early stage venture fund will be like, we get these many more shares because we're at an early
No,
stage.
yeah, yeah. Preferred shares, and yeah, I know the whole structure
Yeah,
of how that
and
works. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool.
like I
I'll
just
do a
know
little bit of
that
research.
structure.
Totally good.
And
No,
I
yeah.
know that and then when you get exits and they get dividends, and then
Yeah,
at the
yeah, yeah.
exit they make all their money back.
Or hopefully, yeah. um,
Hopefully.
yeah, it's such an interesting model for venture. It's literally just like hope that you find that one of the companies you get, like you expect, like you invest in 20 companies, you expect 19 to fail and one to really kick ass and make like double back what you would put
Yeah.
into everybody. It's such a crazy.
And it's crazy because it's like you have to wait years
I
for that to
know. Oh my
happen.
God, that's what a process.
Yeah.
What
How
a
do people
stressful
make
thing.
money when they first start?
It's so funky. But yeah, I don't know. Very cool. Awesome. So this is finding similar existing incubators. Perfect. Perfect. This looks great. I got all my questions answered. If there's anything that I can kind of help with in return for this, I would be happy to. I'm going to promote FLIK online in the
Yeah,
next
just
coming
promote
days.
it.
Awesome. Heck yeah. And yeah, feel free to tag me in anything that you're posting in terms of like the positive content or things along those lines, because I have like an entrepreneurially interested, small but engaged audience on LinkedIn, so I'd be happy to help there. But yeah,
That'd be amazing.
yeah.
If you could do the challenge too, that'd be awesome.
Interesting. Yeah, it's not. I would have to be a little bit creative with it because I set like a very like clear bar to myself, like only produce things and only post content if it like provides some information on getting started on a project or it provides a new tool. So maybe I highlight a tool or something like that, because I try to like be aggressively informational in all the things that I do. So I want to.
Aggressively informational. I
Yeah,
like it.
no, that's my whole kind of like thing. So yeah, I would love to though. That would be perfect. Yeah, I'm always looking for more content ideas. Let me find your post so I can lean off of that. Ba, 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 ba. No, this is posts.
You can just go and post. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, where is it?
It's the first one.
Oh,
it's
is it
the
really?
first one.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm gonna keep this up so I can kind of copy the mentality and provide something. Cool. I love it. Yeah, you tagged Bloom. Yay. I love it.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Very cool. Awesomeness. Well, yeah, cool. That's all my questions. If you have anything else for me or anything else you want to say, feel free to let me know. But yeah, I'll promote some stuff. I'm gonna keep up to date on everything you're doing. But yeah, I super appreciate you being on the show. Thank you for talking with me about all this.
Cool. Thanks for having me. That was an interesting conversation.
Yeah,
I liked it.
absolutely. Yeah, and if I can give you anything or bits or pieces or the live stream or anything from this, just let me know if it's useful for you in terms of content.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, thanks for having me. That was fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. I will talk to you
See you
soon.
later. Chat later.
Bye.
Okay, see ya. Bye.
What a great fucking time. What a wonderful time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I know we focused a lot on impact there. I just really like the stuff that she's building. I think she's a perfect example, and I'm really glad she gave me like literally 20 places to look. This isn't useful if I were startups. This is like a ton of different places to check out if I'm going to build something similar like this, because I would love to build. I'd love to build an incubator, something small like that, just something I could run on the side, because I just feel like that's what I see everybody that's like really big doing, right? Like I look up to a ton of people in the entrepreneurship space. Well, not a ton. I look up to a few people in the entrepreneurship space that build shit like this, and all of them run something like that. All of them are very focused on societal impact, or all of them have a sect of their business that is focused on that kind of thing. And I would love for a piece of entrepreneur to have the resources to like put into small businesses, right? And like fuck it, like if I end up investing and I teach a lot of people really well how to build little mini businesses, then I get a little bit of passive revenue just from being on their board or something like that, right? And I can help them, like I can help people build actual businesses. That would be so fucking cool. I'd be so happy to do that. So I don't know. We are experimenting. Who the fuck knows where it's going to go, but that was a perfect introduction. I really like this model of like an activator can contribute a little bit of money in monthly payments or something otherwise, so that, and I put it into businesses that need help, right? And help them build some shit. So that'd be awesome. That'd be really cool. That'd be really great. Yeah, cool. That was a great live stream. I'm super glad that I had her on the show. If you have any other recommendations, please let me know. And this, as always, for right now, has been sponsored by Restream, and I'm really happy about that. I was having a little bit of issues before, but we are rolling. We're gonna be making a contract soon. Things are great. I'm starting to get paid for EntrepreNerd, and that gives me so much flexibility. Just if I can get paid to do more shit on EntrepreNerd, then the sky's the limit on how much more effort I can put into the content that I make, the education stuff, the school that I'm going to build soon, like. All of that becomes so much more open to me, and I can build so much more shit to actually help people, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm like, for the first time in a while, like I'm like really pumped. I'm really pumped to keep building shit, just because like I feel like I haven't gotten, I don't know, too much traction lately. I don't know. I'm still experimenting. There's a lot of stuff that I have to experiment with lately, but a lot of shit's coming together. I'm really pumped about it. So thank you all for joining. We had a little audience. I was very happy with how many people joined. I see Madison joined. What's up, Madison? We still got to figure out something to build together, because our first idea was a bust, sadly. But yeah, shit's cool. I appreciate everybody who joined. I will see y'all later. Stay safe. Have a wonderful time. And let me know. Shoot me messages if you have other ideas for cool streams that we can do. Oh, actually, this is hilarious. I found, so people bugged me a little while ago on like an idea, like what I could build for, or like what I could play, like a little funny video game that I could play if we were just hanging out, right? If we were just hanging out, having a good time. And I found this fucking game called Suits, a business RPG, and I downloaded it. It's just a cute little RPG. It's a cute little role-playing game. I am an individual, and I think it's, what is it? Store page. Here we go. It's a little RPG where you just goof around. It's got a cute little hand-drawn art style. But the way that they describe it is follow like a man's descent into business madness, right? A man's descent through corporations that control the entire global government. Injustice has inspired a revolution in Suit City. Follow the journey of a businessman's descent into corruption. I love that. It's so fucking like, I love RPG games. First of all, I love RPG games. So this is actually a lot of fun. We can play this over like a series of things. It seems like really positive reviews, and I looked into the company. They're just like this tiny little game studio, and they're just like just building shit. And I fucking I like fell in love with them. I followed them on Twitter. I'm bugging them around. Like I'm trying to get in touch with the people that are building this shit. I love. It's a small little game built by an independent little company, a little tiny video game startup. I want to play this, and I'm probably gonna play this on the stream. On Saturday. So I'm actually really excited about that. But beyond that, yeah, I will see y'all later. I hope you have a wonderful time. check out Restream. If you want to subscribe to the show, check out entrepreneur.blog. There's a little subscribe link where you can subscribe on LinkedIn or on email. I send out email newsletters every week. And beyond that, I will see all of you nerds later. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.